Good morning, New Prague Schools and New Prague community. My name is Tony Boothie, Director of Educational Services for the New Prague area schools, and Happy New Year. Hopefully your 2016 New Year, school year was a good one, and you're looking forward to the 2017 school year. Our school year is approximately half over on January 13th. That is our last day of the first semester, and students will be back on Tuesday, January 17th to start the second semester. How fast time really flies. As you can see over here to my left, we have some of our guests today, which we're very excited about. One person that you will not see with us today is our superintendent, Mr. Dittberner, who was unavailable today. And this is Supt Talk, so it's the first time we're going to continue with the episode, and we're just going to have a great time today. To my left, elementary principal, Falcon Ridge Elementary, Mr. Dave Giesen, and he brought along 3 of his students today, and we're going to visit about some of the activities that took place specifically for the 5th grade prior to the holiday break. So good morning, Mr. Giesen.
Good morning, Mr. Boothie.
I'd like you to just kind of visit a little bit about some of the things that did happen before the holiday break, specifically to the 5th grade, and just kind of tell us a little bit of what it's about.
All right, so the Tuesday before our holiday break, we had 5th grade, we call it Showcase Night, and this is something that takes place at Eagleview Elementary and also Ravenstream Elementary. But it's a night for our 5th graders specifically to show off some of their skills and talents. We gathered in our gym to start the night, and it was a packed house, standing room only by the end. But we had our band perform, our 5th grade band perform for the first time in front of an audience. That was a big night for them. We had our 5th grade choir perform. And then at that point, we released all of our kids back to their classrooms, and each classroom put on a play for moms, dads, grandparents, special friends, whoever. And then they also had projects that were on display for things that they'd been working on up to that point in the year. So really it was a great night for us to invite our parents, our families, and our general public in to show off some of the good things that have been happening at Falcon Ridge. And I thought the night was a huge success. And our teachers, our staff did a fantastic job of preparing for that. Our band director, elementary band director, Julie Spindler, did a great job in preparing our kids for that first performance. And then Mrs. Klinkenberg, Erin Klinkenberg, our music teacher, on that same note, did a great job in having our kids ready to sing that night. So all in all, it was a great night.
So Mr. Giesen, you did bring up Eagleview and Ravenstream, our 2 other elementary schools within the school district. So is this something that all 3 of you elementary schools do every year? Is this an annual 5th grade showcase event?
Yeah, and it has been done for a number of years. This is my 6th year at Falcon Ridge Elementary School, and we've done it every single year since I've been there. But I know going back further, it has been done, and it's a great way, again, to invite our parents in to, again, see some of the things that are going on. But it is an annual event. It has been up to this point. So yeah.
So that's exciting, and as you can see, we've got 3 of our finest from the Falcon Ridge Elementary. On Supt Talk, we always love to bring in our students. That's what the school district is about, is our students and the things that they're learning. So to our left here, we have Katie Vasika, we have Dylan Ely, and Savannah Block. And I'd like to welcome you 3 5th graders from Falcon Ridge to Supt Talk today. Good morning.
Good morning.
So what I'd like to do, and we'll start with you, Katie. You heard Mr. Giesen kind of talk about the showcase night. How specifically, what were you involved, or what were some of the things that you did? Was it fun? Is it something that you look forward to? Those kinds of things.
It was fun. I was in choir, and then we did a play in my classroom. And in choir, we sang a couple songs. Some of them were Nesgadol Hayasham and Up on the Housetop.
Okay, so you're with your classmates and you're doing those. Katie, how often did you practice the play?
We did it a couple times.
Okay, and did you have parents or brothers and sisters or friends able to come? Were there a lot of people that watched?
My dad and brother were there.
Okay, well, fun. All right, Dylan, let's go to you. And same thing as Katie a little bit. What were you involved in and how did it go for you?
Mr. Wilson's class and Mrs. Josephson's class both did a project on brine shrimp. So we were wanting to see, we took different salt levels in each cups of water, and we had each cup at 70-degree water temp, and we put brine shrimp in there to see if which amount of salt would make them grow the fastest.
Oh, exciting. So what did you find out? Was there?
The higher salt level was better with the brine shrimp, and it was really cool because we got to put them under the microscope, and yeah, they're pretty cool.
So there was no eating of shrimp that night?
No.
Okay. All right, and Savannah, let's go ahead and what were you involved in?
I was involved in a Native American project where we could choose a Native American tribe, and we could research about it, and we could either build what the Native American tribe looked like, or we could do some other couple options.
Okay. And I think before we started here, you all three were in the choir concert together, okay, singing, and that was just all 5th grade students that are in the choir. Mr. Giesen, are all kids in choir and or band, or is that something that they choose to do?
Yeah, great question. 5th grade is really an introductory year for our band program throughout the district, and kids have the option to join band, to have the choice of an instrument, and they can, what happens is they have weekly lessons, so one lesson each week, and then they have a group band practice. Again, each building operates the exact same way, so the kids that don't choose a band instrument or opt out of band, they're not interested for whatever reason, are kind of automatically funneled into choir.
Okay.
So all students have either exposure to band or choir, and that's kind of these three right here fitting into that
Wonderful.
choir report. So.
Well, I want to make sure our teachers get a little bit of the kudos too. And you had said Mr. Wilson is yours, Dylan. What about you, Katie? Who's your 5th grade teacher?
Mrs. Klugel.
Mrs. Klugel, okay. Savannah?
Mrs. Josephson.
And there are how many sections, Mr. Giesen?
So we've got 5 sections, and outside of, again, Mrs. Josephson, Mr. Wilson, Mrs. Klugel being represented by these 3, we also have Miss Maceras and Mrs. Pierce to round out our 5th grade team.
Wonderful. Well, the year is already half over, 5th grade. We all know what happens after the 5th grade, right? We go to the 6th grade. I'm going to start with you, Savannah, and we'll go this way this time. What are you most excited about for the 6th grade next year?
For 6th grade, it's funny because I really like math and I like homework, so
Okay.
I like to do, I just really like to do math and work.
Well, good. Looking forward to the math homework.
Yeah.
Dylan?
I'm looking forward to doing different classes so that you can get involved with not just your homeroom teacher, you can go to other teachers and kind of learn what their specialty is.
Okay. And Katie?
Same with Dylan. I'm looking forward to moving to different classes, and I like math a lot.
Okay. So we'll start with you, Dylan, on this one. I know I'm just kind of surprising you with questions here a little bit. Is there one thing that sticks out, maybe one highlight of your time at Falcon Ridge that you've really enjoyed?
I really enjoyed the 5th grade news. It was really fun when I was in 4th and 3rd grade, getting to look up to those big kids on the news and get to learn a little bit more about math and the mystery state of the week. It was just a really good experience, and now being able to run it is pretty good.
Well, good. Katie, how about you?
I like win time a lot. It's where we can work on stuff that we're having trouble with, or we're just working on stuff. We read Maniac McGee in it for the whole 5th grade.
All right. Well, that's wonderful. Savannah?
Same with Dylan. I kind of did like doing the news. It was a fun thing for all 5th graders to be able to do.
Okay. And Mr. Giesen, what's been the favorite part of your first half of the school year?
This has been a great, I want to say start to the year, and here we are almost halfway through, but I think some of the same things they're talking about, these are just a couple of examples of the things that we're proud of at Falcon Ridge and really throughout the entire district. But I think as you can see, we've got kids that are willing to go the extra mile and really committed to doing their best, and it's in the classroom, it's outside of the classroom, and that's just a couple of things that I'm proud of is the extra effort that everybody puts in.
Well, we're very proud of all of our students within the school district, especially at Falcon Ridge here today. But you three young people have done just a wonderful job today, and I'd like to really thank you on behalf of the school district for coming in and sharing some of the showcase. I'd like to thank the 5th grade teachers throughout our entire district for working on this showcase and having those, and that's just an outstanding thing. And you can either answer this last question individually or all together, okay? But who's your favorite principal?
Mr. Giesen.
Okay, that was, it wasn't a trick question, okay? I love it. Okay, we're going to be back with our next guest. Welcome back to Supt Talk. My name is Tony Boothie, Director of Educational Services, and we would like to thank that first group that we had, our guests from Falcon Ridge, Mr. Giesen, and 3 of his 5th grade students. What a wonderful showcase they must have had at Falcon Ridge, along with the other 2 elementary schools within the school district. Here to our left now we have some older students. We have 3 9th grade students and their social studies civics teacher, Mrs. Jen Sayler, and we welcome all of you to Supt Talk today.
Thank you for having us.
So, Mrs. Sayler, we'll start with you. And something occurred before the holidays called the Mock Congregational Congress. And I came and watched and visited. A number of different people came and watched and visited. I've watched it for a couple of years now. It looks like some pretty good stuff. Can you kind of explain to our viewers really what it is you do and why you do that?
Sure. So for our legislative branch unit, we thought we would want something hands-on, and so the whole unit basically consists of a simulation. We want to reenact every portion of the lawmaking process, and so we do the House of Representatives, and we lead up to the Mock Congregational Session, doing every single part from the moment where every student writes a bill, a proposed law or a proposed amendment to the Constitution, and all of the bills are student written. Then they do the committees. They meet in committees, and the committee passes through the ones that they like. We have a crime and punishment committee, we have a tax and economy committee, and so on. And from the bills that get passed through, we then elect we split up and the students take an opinion quiz to decide what party they more align with. So then from there we find out the majority party, and the majority party elects a Speaker of the House. So you can see we're trying to do every step along the way to make it as realistic as possible. And then the Speaker of the House takes over and chooses the final agenda, the 12 final bills that will be on our agenda for the Mock Congregational Session. From there, we send out invitations to make it more realistic, to have an actual public gallery. And that's where you guys come in, and I also would like to extend a thank you to the administrators that come, because we had a high turnout this year, and it's awesome to see just guests pop in the back, and I think it heightens the level for the students and just makes it a lot more realistic. Then the Speaker of the House has the gavel, and we practice a kind of a run through, and they learn a little bit of parliamentary procedure, and they take it from there, and I sit in the back and don't say a word and grade the speeches and the debates and free discussion and things like that. And yeah.
So, Jen, is every student, when you have the 12 bills at the end, is every student somehow involved in the process?
Yes. So from there, actually I forgot this part. So then we have 8 states instead of 50. So I model it after some states that maybe have distinct opinions. So maybe like a Colorado, where they care environmentally, and then an urban like New York, and we do Minnesota, we do Texas, a big Republican state, and California, a big Democrat state. So they know their state, and they also know how their state's constituents feel on each of these 12 bills. So then they choose 2 that they really want to represent. And they try to base it off of their party, their personal beliefs and convictions, but also their state constituents and what the constituents would like them to represent. And so then we do a couple days of research and speech writing, where they prepare a 1-minute speech on the bills that they signed up for. And then we do an open debate for kids who can just ad-lib at the end.
Awesome.
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, in viewing it and watching it now for a couple of years, I've been very, very impressed with the setup, which goes to you and any of the other teachers that do this too, but also the students, and how serious they have taken this. So we've got 3 of our 9th grade civic students here today, which I would like to invite and thank for being here. Erica Goulson, Ava Hart and Jake Herzog. Thank you all three for being with us today. Okay, well, I heard Erica was maybe a Speaker of the House for one of them, so we'll start with you, Erica. And I'm not going to say I'm a big political guy or any of this. I do understand it, but the Speaker of the House is a pretty big job. So maybe just explain to us a little bit about what your part was, and then what did you learn from it, or what did you take away from this?
Well, I was told at the beginning that I had to write a lot of different kind of agendas, and start off with that. I had a lot of extra work after school. I had my own folder, and I had to sort through which people would get which part in which bills they would have to represent, and I would have to cut off which ones they couldn't do because either it was too popular or nobody was on the other side. So I had to deal with who did what, and then it took a while, but I feel like afterwards it was really worth it, because after doing all that, I learned that that Congress doesn't always have to be so political with the Speaker of the House, but working with other people of different parties is a big deal. So for me, my experience wasn't really that political, it was more working with other people.
Okay, you must have done a wonderful job too. Ava, how about you?
Well, I wasn't the Speaker of the House. I was on the majority party for writing my bills, and I wrote 2 bills, and one of mine got on the final agenda, or the one I made got on the final agenda. So I debated that, and then my side won. So I learned a lot, not only about my topic, but a lot about how the whole process works, and then it kind of got me interested in politics and being a lawyer or debating in the House like that.
Can you top those two, Jake?
I was also the Speaker of the House, and I think Erica said it really well. It wasn't more about like political stance. It was more working with people and figuring out how our country's government works and how they have to deal with the people and how it's more real, because people are going to be mad and then they're going to lose their position in Congress.
So if I'm not mistaken, I think our Minnesota legislation just opened up yesterday. So this is kind of ironic. We're talking about it again today, and as we move forward. So, 8 months ago, you three were down in the 8th grade, middle school, okay, junior high. You're now in the 9th grade. You come into Miss Sayler's class, and you start talking about the government and the Congress and all of that, which you've probably been introduced to before. Was it hard? Was it exciting? Was it a great learning experience? Is this something that you wish you maybe would have had in the middle school? You even talked to Ava about maybe looking into the political side. We'll start with you, Jake, again, but what's really one good thing you think you took away from this project?
It's good to know like how your votes in elections affect the Congress and how they are going to be able to change the way that you live in your country.
Okay, that's great. Ava?
For me in 8th grade, I didn't really think that what was going on in the world with politics really had any effect on me. But now going through this process, I realize that every choice that's made is somehow going to have an effect on like our future of this generation and everybody. And you can't just think that since you don't vote, it doesn't have an effect on you.
Erica?
Last year, I had recently gotten into politics because of my parents and just kind of the year that I had been having. And my experience with going into this is that I used to be a very one-sided kind of person, but going into this, it was really open, and I got to see the other sides of people, and I got to learn more about them. And I feel like the thing I learned most about everything that I did during Mock Congress was knowing that my vote matters, but also knowing that me as a student, I can make a difference to people, and I can work with people I may not agree with.
Well, Mrs. Sayler, after hearing all of that, we all as teachers, we all go into every assignment or project with an outcome or a purpose. Do you feel pretty fulfilled? I mean, in listening to not only your students here, but also the other ones, and have all your goals and objectives been met with this project?
Absolutely, and surpassed. Thank you guys so much. That was so wonderful to listen to. Wow. Yeah, objective completed.
Objective
Yes,
completed.
absolutely.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Well, I'll just have one more question before we're done here, but we had our 3 5th graders on here prior to you, and I asked them what they're looking forward to in the 6th grade next year. You 3 9th graders have 1/2 of a year completed pretty much, 3.5 years left of high school. You can either, and Jake, we'll start with you, something that has been a highlight of your 9th grade year, or what is it you're really looking forward to or for from the New Prague High School?
I'm looking forward to the ability to choose what classes you take and like the varieties. Like math, you're not guaranteed to take one math class this year, so you can take like like pre-calculus or AP statistics at the same time because they're both offered to you at the same time. So I like the freedom that we're allowed.
You can take a lot of social studies classes too.
Yeah.
You might want to say that. Ava?
I'd say definitely look forward to the Mock Congress, and then I'm looking forward to, like Jake said, picking more classes and kind of choosing what path you want to take.
Okay, Erica?
I'm definitely looking forward to having more opportunities and also the different kind of after-school academic, like the musicals and the plays after school, and having the option of whether or not I want to do those things and being able to meet different people.
Awesome. Well, I can't thank all of you enough. Ms. Sayler, thank you for bringing these 3 people in, and I know you had classrooms full of other young folks that could have did the same thing, but you 3 were just wonderful. I respect your work, and we have so many wonderful things going on at the New Prague High School and all of our New Prague schools. But just another example of what wonderful ambassadors we have here. 3 9th graders who I think have a future maybe in politics, maybe not. We do have class sign-ups registration coming here very quickly. So get your nose in that registration booklet and offer some of those great classes. So all 3 of you and Ms. Sayler, thank you so very much for being with us. And I wish you a happy 2017 school year. We wish everyone out there, all of our viewers, a wonderful 2017 school year. Thank you very much and have a great day.